Okay, yeah. Okay, guys, this is something completely improvised, and it is recorded on my Samsung Galaxy S7. No different audio or something like that. This is just what you hear from the inbuilt mic, and this is something completely improvised. I didn't plan to make this video at all. I'm not even quite sure how far I have to hold the camera because I usually don't do this like this. But the reason why I'm doing this video, I think it was last week, I asked you for suggestions for different videos because right now I don't have too many review units and all that, and I wanted to do something different because I would kind of like to make some kind of different content from here and from time to time. And I asked for that, and Matthias Arneby made a good um, suggestion. He said make a kind of workflow video, how you make your videos, and this is what I want to do. And I will give you a little bit of a tour. It will be really brief. I won't go into the details, but just tell you what I think. And this is completely raw. I didn't prepare anything, and you will definitely notice this once I will turn the camera the other way around and see the setup. And actually what I didn't expect, and this was a bad decision, I'm completely facing towards the light, so I hope I didn't blow up. I didn't see it. So this is the studio as it is, and sorry for shaking. This was completely not necessary, but here is the setup as it is. It's completely raw. So if I do a review, here are the things. Here is my tripod. Let me quickly actually get the camera here. And like I said, I hope the sound is okay and everything else. And what I will do now though is open the window to get a little bit more light. So here is the camera. This is what you usually would be looking at. So I use that one here to record this, and I really like what the S7 does. And like you can see here, the printer here, my monitor, I just took that off because usually here was the 27-inch, but since I don't have really any use for that one anymore, since I can't monitor my video with that anymore, this is what it is. So what else? My camcorder is back there. Let me get quickly that. So this one would now go onto this. I can't really do this with one hand, or maybe let's just give me a sec. Give me a sec. Okay, so here it is. Let me get a little bit further away. And this is what it would be looking at usually now. Something at around this angle where I make the second shot of my videos. So the one, as you can see here, records me. This one records the device. So this is how I make my dual setup. Now you're maybe wondering what this light makes here. I just recorded a rambling, and I used the old setup that I usually, because this was what it was looking at, so something like this here, and I needed a little bit more even lighting, so this is what I changed. But this is not something that I usually do. Here, by the way, is my monopod with my custom built stand, because usually it had kind of a mini tripod, but that one was falling off way too because it's a cheap thing. Now what you see here is something that I actually stole or borrowed from my brother. He has two, so I can put my legs on if I'm on the chair, because for the ramblings I want to be as comfortable as possible so I can enjoy doing them. Okay, now if I recorded now here the topics here, for example, this is something that I usually put all the review units in when I take them upstairs. What I also have here is the tripod that I usually have the iPad in, that I will use for monitoring my video of the G7. Here, this is something I just recently bought from Zekro. This Chinese thing that is available on many different devices. So this one, and I see I have some flickering, I guess, from the light, so I'm a little bit sorry for that. I guess maybe I should have used a different camera, but I wanted to make it really raw and quick. So this is what I will use in few more videos, because if you saw the Sony Xperia Z3 review, the Z3 Plus review, I think it was the first video where I used the S7 for a different angle additional, so I had kind of a free camera setup. This is also what I just bought. This I already have one in silver, another tablet tripod, because sometimes I'll need one more here. Here you can see I bought some LED strips that you can see here. If I turn off the light, I have some lighting now. It goes all around the whole desk. Usually you could see that there is one here as well. Let's turn the light on again. Okay, so now I recorded my video. Now I made the review. What else? What do I do now? Now I use the SD cards. Here is one, and I have two quite fast ones, 90 read and 90 write speeds. I use them here with my card reader, put the content on. Also, of course, I have Audacity, set up the audio, then I cut it and all that. The way I edit is super lame and simple, and I can just show you a timeline here from my last review. And that one is already a little bit more of a, let's say, sophisticated one. Let me quickly get a C3 Plus. So this was already a little bit more work. Let me turn off the lights. So this is my timeline. Let's zoom it out. That was the wrong window. Okay, this is the whole video. As you can see, not much going on. And my way of editing is super lame. And this is, since it is a free camera setup, already more advanced. Usually, let's actually get out of that and open a different one. Sorry. Just so you can see what I usually have, because these ones are even simpler than this one is. And the rambling, of course, is super simple. The rambling has like an audio and with no cuts or something like that. The Z4, okay, yeah, I deleted the footage, so maybe it's still visible. Let me check. Okay, this is what, of course, the media is missing now, but this is what a typical timeline would look for me on a normal review. Like you said maybe before, on the Z3 Plus, it was already a little bit more advanced. And then I cut my stuff. I use Adobe Premiere. As you see, I don't really use any high-end editing or something like that. And if I turn on the light, as you can see, the new cameras, the new microphone setup is here. And this allows me not to be in the frame, but to be quite close, as you can see here, to the device. So it can record the audio of the device and me quite well. And I don't change this location anymore. It's in the way. Here I have the monitor that I could actually show you what it does if I turn it on. And now, no, I don't need this. I only need the HDMI. Super raw, like my whole channel. Okay, it's plugged in. If it is, did I plug it properly in? Yeah, and now you can see, okay, the battery is almost dead, but that is no problem. Since I have this cable here, I can just attach that one, and now I have it. Of course, you can see the wiring is a little bit improvised, but I had no different solution because the power supply of this new camcorder was a little bit worse than it was on my old one. And now what you can see is the different camera now. You can see me here right now. Usually what I'm looking here at this camera if I talk, and if I go into the device talking about that, then I look a little bit to the side and can see in real time what I'm doing. And the good thing is it is a 24-inch monitor. I think, no, it's 23. I can see what I do quite sharp. It's not quite color accurate or something like that, but it really makes it easier, because if I watch the other thing on the iPad, of course, as you can see here, it's way smaller, but this one only records me, and I don't really have to see so many times what I do. I also have a timer here once I record, so I know how long the video will be, but I usually in reviews don't have the time to actually check that. So just real quick, this was kind of my workflow. I set up, the good thing is, as you can see here, everything is pretty much as it is. So I have the lighting set up every time. I don't have to change the lighting at all. If I do the ramblings a little bit here and there. I usually have every window closed down, so it's darker here, so I have always the same lighting conditions, because I notice, especially if I have this window here open, then especially if it's sunny, my desk is way too bright, everything overexposes and I have reflections and all that. So I keep the lights completely off and just the studio lights on. Then I record my footage, put it on my PC that you can actually see here. Why does this look so odd? Okay, the cable management is extreme, but I have so many that, yeah. Here is the charger for my Panasonic G7. Here's an USB cable if I need to transfer, for example, like now, the footage of the S7 to get that done. Transfer all my video and audio, then cut it like I said on my timeline. And then I render it, then I upload it and all that. So this would have been, let me quickly check, 10 minutes right now. This was longer than I expected because it started right early. What I use today though for the rambling is this Zoom H1. So quite a nice purchase, but I definitely like the sound of the USB Rode anti-USB a lot more. But this was kind of how I work. As you can see, it's definitely not professional, but it absolutely gets the job done. I have the two cameras that produce a great quality. For some reason, the Panasonic on devices causes some artifacting after rendering, only on rendering, so it must be kind of some Adobe Premiere issue and not actually an issue of the camera itself, because during editing I don't see these artifacts. It's only after rendering. And yeah, I really enjoy this. This is something that I really don't change too much anymore. It's just a nice little backdrop, but it works. I'm happy with the setup. A little bit, it's a little bit cramped in since I have this cupboard, but it was necessary because otherwise the room would have been too hard to get lighting properly done without spending $500 more or something like that. So it gets a job done. But as you can see, everything, the rest here, this old desk here, this thing in the background here, some stuff, it's not that well organized, and I should definitely improve a little bit more on that in the future. But I kind of just need two things to work, and they do, and this is already good enough for me. I really enjoy the setup, and it made a lot of things easier. What made a huge difference here is this thing that records my video. Then of course the G7 makes a great job here, and usually if I'm looking at this if I make the rambling. So usually the camera would be here, and this is why I changed the light here. And I gotta say, let me actually know in the comments what you think of the video quality of the S7. This was recorded in 4K, 25 frames, but I will only upload it in 1080p. Make one rotation, the last, yeah. I got something like a 4 GB notice, so I'm not quite sure if this still is recording, but let's make one rotation here to see the whole setup in 360 once again. So this was it. Matthias, you wanted to see the workflow, you kind of know what it is like. If you have any questions, just leave them down below and I will ask them. It wasn't really a proper workflow video. I just wanted to show you how, in what conditions I make my videos, not so much how I make them. Because you've seen the camera and all that already, and all the rest going into the timeline and so on wouldn't be worth it because the way I edit is so poor. Okay, I hope still you enjoyed this, and I will upload this video actually before the rambling because it's a little bit shorter. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you want maybe to see more like videos like these from the S7 shot, if I'm doing something random, if I maybe prepare for something on the review, make something like that, because I would definitely like to make a little bit more than just reviews, because I noticed I make reviews which are the main, which attract the main views here, and I have the ramblings, but outside of that I don't really have anything. I don't do tutorials, I don't do software reviews, and I don't do this. But I would actually still, the main premise of all of my videos is more interaction with you, getting in touch with you, talking with you, and maybe these kind of videos would actually help with that. At least I hope so, and I hope to get a lot of comments here, because this would be the main proof that this could work. Okay, until next time, bye.